Here we have a pre-owned 2023 BMW X6. This one comes in the xDrive40i M Sport trim level. And we also have the premium package on this one as well. This color is going to be the beautiful mineral green metallic. And then we have black leather interior. And the powertrain consists of a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6 engine made into an 8-speed automatic transmission. And then this one has just a little over 13,000 miles. But as I get to the front end here, LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights. And I love the design on this X6. Those lights don't flash like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up. But this is one of the few cars that I think from BMW where the bigger grille actually makes this look that much better. Like on the X7s, I don't like it. The new 5 Series, might be a little too big, but here, absolutely perfect. And then right here we have 20-inch wheels. Those are gonna be those M Sport wheels there. But love the mineral green as well. Passive keyless entry on the front 2 doors. We have our power liftgate controls here, open, closed. Memory seat functions here, just hit set and then hold it when you want to set it and it'll beep at you. Power door lock controls are here. And then we do have one-touch automatic up and down windows on all 4 doors. Rear window lock is here. We have power folding mirrors, blind spot monitors there. And then for our power mirrors, right side or left side, and you can adjust with that dial there. But plenty of space in this door panel here, and I like that it doesn't look extremely cheap. But storage there, and then a nice big bottle holder on the side there. And then our headlamp controls are here, so we can cut them off, turn them on, set them to auto, corners, and then we do have our brightness for the gauge cluster we can adjust here. And hit this twice to pop the hood. Little storage tray there. And we have a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And then here we have our power driver seat. We get power lumbar support, and then we also have power bolsters, side bolsters there. And we also have a manual thigh support that we can control there. So pretty adjustable seat. Now I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. So let's go ahead and check out this leg room here. So not terrible room, but not the best. You do get a USB-C port here though. That's pretty nice. And then we also have dual zone climate controls for the back as well. So we can adjust temperature here, then adjust fan speed there, adjust fan direction there. Then we can set the auto mode on as well. So I like that you can do that. It's not a full-on quad zone, but I mean, it's pretty decent because it just controls temperature. But vents are here. Everything looks pretty nice. 12 volt down there, little pocket in here. And I do like that we have the back seat pockets on both sides. I don't know what that is. I can't see back here, but then we can fold this down. Cup holders are there. Storage compartment here. And I still have about an inch or so of headroom even in the back seat here. And even though this isn't necessarily a suede headline or anything, I love the design. I like the touch feel of it as well. Then we do have our premium dome lights in the back. The child lock is on, of course. So bear with me one moment. So if you do ever want to use a child lock, right there on the side, that's the lock, unlock there. But again, can't say enough about the design. I love the design on this X6. We do get our LED tail lamps. Dual exhaust down there, sounds pretty good. And this one does have the tow hitch as well. So button on the hatch itself to open. And then pretty decent cargo space back here. So we have a 12 volt on this side, and then we can hang a bag or two over here, and then have a little storage in there. And lift this up, and there's your spare tire. And I like that this actually has a hydraulic on it and pretty easy to open and close it, unlike most compartments for spare tires. Let's go to the fuel filler here. Then we have a cap, and then I think it's required you put 91 in there, but that's at 89. So definitely want to put premium in there if you can. But for the back seats here, if you want to fold them down, pull that. And then when the seat's up far enough, it looks like that'll fold flat. And then you just lock it back into place. We have our bottom anchors down in here, and I like that they're hidden away, but easy to get to if you lift that up. And over here to the front passenger seat. We don't get power lumbar here, but we do get the power side bolsters, and then we do get that manual thigh support as well. So nice to have that. And a lockable glove compartment here, owner's manuals in this one. And then of course you do have the owner's manuals that are actually in the vehicle system itself, so you can search for certain menus and whatnot. Sorry about my camera, it's bent a little bit, the stand is. But there's that 3-liter twin scroll turbocharged V6, or inline 6, excuse me. Mostly covered up there. I like that sound though. That hood is hot. But let's go ahead and hop back in the driver's seat. So back here, we do get the leather wrap steering wheel here. We can heat that by touching that button right in there. And it'll tell you on the screen when it's activated or deactivated. But speaking of screens, going over here to the radio, this system is one of the most complicated radios I've ever used in my life. BMW's new radios are like that, but the good thing is they are very, very configurable. So here we have our AM, FM, XM radio. You have Bluetooth audio, Spotify, and then you also have access to wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto compatibility, which is fantastic. I wouldn't expect that in a BMW, honestly. And one thing that has kind of grown on me is it's kind of difficult to set up your presets, but as opposed to just a regular car or any other car, but like once you get used to it, you add it to presets there, and then you can actually use this menu. And I'll show you that here after a while, show you how easy it is to use. But I do like, one thing that makes this that much less cumbersome is we do have a touch screen here. So on top of having the scroll bar, if you want to use that, so you can scroll through that and all that there, you can actually touch whatever you want to. So let's say it's hard to get to the settings. So I can click through here, or I can scroll through here too. So drive mode settings, you can toggle the sport and the eco, pro, individual, and then general settings here, your units, if you ever want to change any of that, you could change so much: temperature, air pressure, torque, how everything's delivered, and then you can just change it that easily. So I like that. Same thing with the sound. I like that all the settings are in the settings position. I don't have to go to 3 different menus to find what I need. And then again, you have this here, but you also have shortcuts as well. So if I want to just pull up the navigation map, there it is. If I want to pull up just the nav so I can type in the destination, I can go from doing that to typing, and then if I want to go back to scrolling through, I can do that too. And then it also has suggestions as well. So there was an auto suggestion for Walmart, then it pulls up Walmart there. The only thing is, as you can see probably from how I'm recording, it does tend to get a little sunlight on it. So sometimes I can leave a glare, but other than that, it's pretty great. Again, owner's manuals are down there. Vehicle status, driving information, all of that's here. And then if you want to see the energy flow, because this does have that 48-volt mild hybrid system, it'll show you how much battery life is left there, and then when the engine's running. But to connect to Bluetooth, just go to the COM button here and then hit telephone and then connect a new phone, and it'll just pull up right on your phone to connect to the BMW, and this one's 29,993, and then it pretty much connects instantly. So again, pretty easy system to use once you get used to it. But there's our backup camera there. We have that 360 view as well, and I love the guidelines here they follow you as you turn the steering wheel, not only on the left side, but also on that right side with the 360 camera. And we also have automatic parking, which we can go ahead and turn that on and off there. Backup assistance, and then settings for the actual camera. There's a lot that you can do there as well. But down here to the dual zone automatic climate controls for the front. We can control temperature on either side there. What I do like about this is you can control the fan speed on both sides here. And then you do have the 3-stage heated seats for the front as well. And there are our hazards. And then we have our controls for the safety system. And I like that, first of all, I like the graphics here. As I turn it on and off, it flashes at me, but it shows you there, all on, individual, and then you can configure the individual there. And then right in here, we can make selected functions saved here, and then you hit this mode button, and then we can go through our radio stations right there, the bands, and then we have a volume knob. You turn that up, and then you can click there to mute. And then we do have a stowable tray here. So cup holders are here, wireless charging pad there, little storage here, and then a USB-A port and a 12-volt here. Then over by the shifter, we do have our traction control toggle. Hit this button here, and we get that front camera. And then parking sensors. These are all of our drive modes, so we can hit the button for it. And then we do have the automatic brake hold there. Electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage. And then again, all the controls go through the radio, shortcuts and whatnot. And then for the shifter, pull down for drive, tap up for neutral, pull all the way up for reverse, press P for park, and then in manual mode, to do that, you just tap over there. Then you can manually shift from the shifter or from the paddle shifters. But center console cubby space is here. You do get a USB-C charge port in there. And then up here, I'm gonna go ahead and pop this sunroof. But while that's going, I love these dome lights here. They are so awesome. Probably some of the best looking dome lights I've seen, even compared to Mercedes and all of that, just because the design is so nice. So hit twice to get the roof all the way back. And you can one-touch shut it. There's a view of the back seat from up here. Now going back to the steering wheel, hit this BC button on the left side, and that'll control the right side of that gauge cluster there. Different views that you can choose from. And then automatic high beam toggle is right there. And then do that for the high beams, turn them off there, and then you can flash here as well. And there are the blinkers. And then over here, the right stalk, one time for the windshield wipers, and we have auto, low, high, and then we can control the sensitivity of the auto wipers right there. And I like that it turns green to let you know what mode it's in. That's pretty cool. And then pull up there for the front wiper fluid. Now over here, we do have our cruise control, so you can put the speed limiter on there, cruise there, and then you can adjust that, resume, cancel, set. And then over here, we have volume controls. We can go through radio station presets here. And then I do like this button here. You pull this up here, and on your heads-up display, you can go ahead and scroll through here. And then if I want to go to XM, it'll show me all the radio stations. I can scroll through with this scroll bar. And then if I go back, then I can actually go to my presets and scroll through those as well. So all that's just used with the bar, and then you hit this button right here to get you into that menu there. But voice recognition button's here, Bluetooth control is here, so that's a shortcut for the Bluetooth if you ever want to pull that up. I love the M badge here. This steering wheel looks very, very nice again. Love that. But our push button starts here. And finally, here's the key fob. But now to the fun part, let's go ahead and take this 2023 BMW X6 out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in the X6 here, First of all, let me just go ahead and get into the actual, just what I find weird about this vehicle other than what I already covered. So the hill descent control is right here below the Eco Pro button on the shifter. I find that pretty strange, just because it's just right lined up with the drive modes. And then just the settings, how everything is laid out. Once you get used to it, it makes a lot of sense, but BMW has a track record of extremely complicated infotainment systems, and this one is no different. So your general settings right in here, and I went through this already, but just everything is just, there's so much going on there. And then the actual car settings here, like the vehicle status, all of that, tire pressure monitors, engine levels, or oil levels, excuse me. It's just so much to really, it's overwhelming, I think, for the average driver. And then you have this experience modes thing here. So if I hit expressive, enjoy life and positive energy, it gives you a weird kind of sound, and then the roof opens up. I don't necessarily want that going on because it's hot outside. So just a few wonky things like that the BMW people will probably love. Now, in terms of the driving experience, this 3-liter turbocharged inline 6 is just a fantastic engine, and paired with this 8-speed automatic, just I mean, it's the driving machine, it's the ultimate driving machine for this class, I think. Obviously, you can get faster with it, but just for a somewhat stock powertrain option, it's pretty fun to drive. And this is in comfort mode. In BMWs, where they have super complicated infotainment systems and buttons and knobs and all of that, where they really shine is with how their vehicles drive. And this one is no different. Now, I don't know long term how these 3 liters with the 8 speeds have held up, but there's certainly, you want to put your foot in them. Now, I do like the manual mode because it is a true manual mode, and you really don't get that a lot these days. But this thing shifts when I tell it to, downshifts when I tell it to. Just a very, very impressive setup in terms of just a driving machine that I feel like I have full control of. And keep in mind, this is in comfort mode too, so I'm gonna put it in the sport mode as we get on the interstate and see what it's really got. So very quick, very quick. And I love in the sport mode how it downshifts and all that. Now with this Friday evening traffic, kind of hard to open her up, but the ride itself is actually pretty nice. Now with these wheels and tires being more low profile, and especially with this part of the interstate being a little beat up, there is quite a bit of road noise, but nothing terrible. And again, the ride quality is pretty superb. And I love the power side bolsters because those just make for, I feel like, a comfortable ride, but I also feel extremely secure. So when I'm taking corners in this hard, I'm staying in the seat. But just, I love, BMW does a great job at making fun cars to drive. That's where they shine probably the most. And this one's no different, even though this is kind of the mid-size SUV segment. It's not meant to be exciting. This is still quick, even though it's just an M Sport. It's not even an M or anything like that. Very impressive. So putting in the standard sport mode is probably your best option just driving around. I think the Sport Plus is something where if you want full-on throttle response, you have that, but the sport mode is aggressive but still somewhat practical. But the Sport Plus mode is just so fun because you feel like you're like in an M6 instead of an X6, just with how it wants to downshift by itself. And It's fantastic, it really is. But the sport mode, specifically if you want to use your paddle shifters for acceleration, but you don't necessarily want to thrash it, sport is probably your best bet. And I like that you get the sport mode, you get the sport plus mode, and you have the sport individual mode that you can actually set up yourself. But since we're going to be in some slow traffic here, let's go ahead and put the Eco Pro mode on. So of course everything kind of dies down. Very quiet in here now. Yeah, very, very quiet. I'm gonna give it a little throttle here. And even putting my foot just a little bit into it, it just slowly pulls away, as opposed to trying to redline like it would in the Sport Plus. But I love that about this vehicle because it gives you more than three separate drive modes. You can have your comfort mode where you have power at your fingertips, but it's not necessarily full-on hard throttle power. And then of course the sport mode is crazy. And the Eco Pro mode just gives you a nice driving feel where you can try to maximize your fuel efficiency. And I love that it shows you all the stuff that's important there. It's just showing you what your fuel mileage is. And then when you put it into sport mode, it's like, here's a tachometer. So very neat and very cool. And then I feel like in the comfort mode, it's kind of letting you know just your power output there. So a great vehicle, just if you want several different drive modes, several different ways of driving, you have that versatility. So Auto Collection of Murfreesboro has this one priced pretty competitively at $78,000, but bargain competitors would definitely be the Chevy Blazer, I think. And you also have the Buick variant having that Envision. And there are just so many small to mid-size SUV options this can compare with, but there's really nothing that has this kind of, I mean, you can get like a GLE or something like that from Mercedes, but there's really nothing else that kind of touches something that's this fun to drive, specifically for Mercedes, that isn't an AMG variant. And this just checks all the boxes for me while still being competitively priced. But we'll do one more pull in sport mode for good measure. And this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2023 BMW X6.